Welcome back. So after our debacle with the motherboard that failed and that we had to replace, we've now fit the new motherboard into the case. This is that Asrock board with the AMD Ryzen 3200G, 16 gig of memory, DDR4 3000, and we've fit it into the case and we've started to put all the cabling and tying it all up, which you can see from the back. So we tried to keep it as tidy as possible. We've made use of the hole that I've built at the top to tuck all the extra cables in. We haven't plugged in the PCI Express yet because we're still waiting on the graphics card. I'm not sure what graphics card we're going to put in it yet, but everything's looking smart, everything's looking pretty cool. We've used these little sticky tags to hold some of the wiring back. I advise that you get some of these because they're really good at holding things back with cable ties. They're not very expensive, you can buy like 100 for a couple of quid, but they really do make a difference when you're fitting things like this. We've got a hard drive installed, we've got our front fans. We haven't put the rear fan in yet because I've ordered another one because there wasn't enough light in the case when I was testing this with just the front fans. So once that turns up, we'll fit that, tidy the cable away, and it'll look really good. This top panel now is ready to be covered up, and what I've done is I've cut a new piece. This was out of the same piece of case that the tray was actually made out of, so if you ever do get any cases that you're just going to chuck away, if they've got any good panels on them, always keep the panels, just tuck them underneath the cupboard because they come in handy for creating things like this. So now what we'll do is we'll get this fitted. So to fit this panel, it's pretty simple. I've tapped 2 holes into the existing tray and I've put 2 holes into the panel. We just insert it into the case and slide it up. The holes will line up, and we've got a couple of countersunk screws that will actually just disappear into that panel, which we'll screw in. And for the front one, I've 3D printed an emblem, an AMD emblem, on a little panel that's actually going to tuck just inside the case, line up where the screw is, and then we can insert the screw so it'll all hold it all together. And that's our panel fitted. So we fit our panel, and now you can see it covers up all the wiring that we've had to bundle into the front there, so it looks really smart. It's pretty sleek across the top, and it covers up the side of the power supply because we didn't need the wording showing. And it's looking pretty smart. The next job we've got to do is we've got a wireless card to fit to this because it doesn't come with wireless on the motherboard, which is this card. We managed to salvage this out the original case, well, PC that we were going to reuse, but we haven't been able to. And that will actually go in the slot at the top there, which leaves one slot, the PCI Express slot, for the graphics card. I'm not sure what graphics card I'm actually going to get for this yet. I've looked at getting something that was age appropriate to the old board, but that doesn't make sense anymore. So that was going to be something along the lines of the R9 or the R7 cards. But as it doesn't make sense anymore, and we want it to look really AMD authentic, what I really want is a reference card. Now, reference cards are not simple to get. They seem to be quite rare to find anything, and unfortunately there's not many around. I'm not sure what AMD do with their reference cards. They don't seem to do as many as Nvidia, but the one card that I have got my eye on at the moment, being that this is a low powered system, is the Radeon RX 5300. So it was announced this year, I can't really find anything much on its release date or anything of when it's going to actually come out. According to Wikipedia, it's already out, but that can't be true because it's not even listed on their website yet. So we will see what we can do on that one. I don't want to put something too big in this machine because obviously it'll just get throttled by the CPU anyway. So there's no point in going too big. There's no point going too low either because it's not going to be able to do anything. Although it's not a gaming machine, it would be nice that it could play games. And with the Ryzen processor that's in it, with its onboard graphics, it will actually play some games. I've tested it before. You get some good FPS in a lot of the modern games. For the older games, things like Half-Life 2, which is my favourite game to play anyway, it is quite blindingly fast, really. I mean, you'll get 200 frames per second, but it is an old game. That's what you get. So I've installed the wireless card. That's going to sit there. Obviously, the fan's going to go on top at some point. That's going to look really good. We're just waiting for the GPU now. So if you want to see the progress on this going forward, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I think now we're in a situation where we can put the back on and cover it up. So we'll just knock it over on its front. We will get the rear panel, which I have over here, and we will just install that now. Now the rear panel on this case actually is held down with thumb screws, which is pretty good. I was quite surprised that it came with thumb screws because it was such a cheap case. I think I only paid like £19 for this case. I did a video on it, so make sure you take a look at the channel to see the video on this case. And it's worked out really well. A bit of awkwardness hiding cables, but apart from that, we have a system built in it. We do have another little task to do on this, and it's to install the light bar in. So I've produced some light bars, 3D printed them, created them with some LEDs. They're really going to show off the AMD brand. So on my next video I'm going to install them. So again, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you want to see them being installed.